if you've joined us on this Facebook Live, welcome to Kitten Cam. This is the first one of our summer 2022 Kitten Cam programme that we're going to be doing. We are hoping to do some live streams weekly for you, giving you the lowdown on all things kitten, from kitten socialisation, which is what we're currently here doing and what we'll be doing week on week, to kitten care and what to do if you've got a pregnant cat, and basically asking you guys to send in your questions so that we can answer any questions that you might have that's kitten related. So we're here today with Mia and her gorgeous litter of 3 kittens who are only 8 days old. We've got Max, we've got Munchie, and we've got Merlin. And as you can see, they're all enjoying a marvellous siesta at the moment. Snuggling into mum. They've just had a nice feed from mum, and now they're having a nice snooze. So what we'll be doing each week is, as we said, focusing on kitten socialisation, which is really, really key in the first 8 weeks of their life. It's essentially to get them used to human interaction, so that they can learn to trust humans, be around them, and also so they can get used to things like having their vet checks. So we've got Helen here, who's going to tell us a little bit about what she does as a socialisation volunteer and what it involves.
So yes, it's really important to start human interaction quite, as soon as possible. Obviously, at the moment, these 3, they're only a week old, or just over a week. So at the moment, it's basically a lot of time with mum, not much handling, depending on what mum allows as well. And yeah, so in the following weeks to come, we will then start to properly handle the kittens, and the purpose of that is to get them used to being handled, but also getting them used to being handled for vet appointments, where the vets will be checking their nose, their eyes, their ears, their paws. So we do that with them. We check everything and just get them used to that sort of handling. And then as they get a bit older, we then, and they're ready to start playing, we then start playing with them with toys and introducing them to lots of different kinds of toys and getting them used to that, rather than playing with them with our fingers and our feet, because that's really important that they don't play with our fingers and feet, because as they get older and bigger, it hurts a lot more. So yeah, it's really important that I think I just woke up, Mum. Sorry, Mum. So it's really important to get them used to playing with toys early on, but also us as, being around us and just getting lots of love from us as well. So getting strokes and tickles and things, so that they get used to that kind of interaction with us, with humans.
We will be following probably not just this litter, not just Mia and her kittens, but we've got quite a few kittens here at the moment and across the UK in our centres and branches. As we said, kitten season gets quite busy for us, and it's very full on, helping mum raise her kittens, feeding extra mouths. Mum's got to be in really tip-top shape to help look after these kittens. She's in her pen 24/7, so she's we have special diets for the kittens, special diet for mum. She gets lots of vet checkups, which is great, and as Helen said, that mum will be with kittens right up until they sort of finish nursing from her. At the moment, she's helping them with everything from toileting to grooming and teaching them even to eat. And then kittens will be rehomed from Cats Protection at around 8 weeks old, and before that happens, they will be neutered. They'll have their flea and worm vaccinations. They'll be microchipped, which is really important because we know cats like to roam, particularly if you've got an outdoor cat. It's really important to microchip your cat, even if they're an indoor cat, actually, because if they escape, It's very useful if they get lost. So all those things are done at Cats Protection. We recommend that, you know, if you do have a pregnant cat, or if you've had a litter of kittens recently in your home, these are all really key things that you need to consider as well. So flea vaccinations and worming tablets, and you know, having all their key vaccinations. There's a reason that you can't see on the camera at the moment because you've got a lovely close-up of the kittens, but there's a reason why our socialisers wear sort of gloves and aprons and things when we're handling very young kittens, and that's for infection reasons. So obviously they haven't had any vaccinations yet. That happens in a couple of weeks, and before then, you know, it's very easy when you've got staff and volunteers coming in to feed them and clean out the pens and be with mum and, you know, change litter trays and things, that we could be introducing germs to the area and also taking germs away with us. So you'll see in future streams when everyone's wearing protective gear, that's part of the reason, to keep the kittens and all the other cats safe as well. Yeah, so they get lots of individual treatment and extra special care. Every penny helps when we're looking after these guys. Mum looks very chilled there, which is good.
Yeah, that's really important that
Yeah.
she's chilled, yeah.
Yeah, so at this stage, as Helen said, it's more about mum than interacting with kittens, isn't it? Because you know, when kittens are first born, unless there's a real issue, we would actually leave mum to it, as it were, for the first few days. You don't want to kind of get in there and start, you know, messing around with her newborn kittens. You want to give them the time to bond and her the time to learn to become a mum and nurse them and things. But from a few days, I think these guys were handled for the first time only a few days ago anyway. So mum's actually been out a few minutes ago and had a little fuss with Helen, and now she's climbed back in and obviously providing a very nice bed for her kittens.
Yeah, she's being a great mum.
She's being a great mum. And it's really important that we take into consideration mum above all else, because if mum's anxious or nervous, that can easily be passed on to the kittens as well. And we want, you know, we want the kittens to be super relaxed, and that's part of socialisation as well. So, have we got any questions from anyone? Not just loads of people saying that they... What colour is the dad, someone's asked. That's an interesting one. We don't actually know. Mum came into us from a house where they were moving house, and the new house wasn't suitable for her, but she came in when she was already pregnant, so we have no idea who dad was, and I'm not sure that the owners would have either. She obviously wasn't neutered. So that's another thing to mention, is that mum will also be microchipped if she wasn't already, and she will be vaccinated and neutered before she goes home, because neutering is a really important part in making sure that the number of unwanted cats in the UK starts to reduce, because there's an awful lot of unneutered cats having kittens, and we do sadly get quite a lot of abandoned kittens into our centres and branches. So neutering is really, really key. And if you have had kittens, it's important to know that they can reproduce from about 4 months of age. It's seriously that young. So we at Cats Protection advocate neutering from 4 months of age, but equally it's important to know that if you've had a litter of kittens and there's males and females in there, they don't care that they're brothers and sisters. They will do the deed. So, oh yeah, and mum here actually is only 1 year old herself. So, I mean, she's pretty much a baby herself. I think this is her first litter. We haven't been told that she's had previous litter, but sadly we do see that sometimes. Young cats having litters in quick succession, which, I mean, it's actually quite stressful for young cats to have to look after kittens. And there's a number of health benefits related to neutering, and there's loads more about that on our website as well. So we'll post some links in the comments if people are interested in finding out more about neutering, or about rearing kittens, or about getting a kitten and the things to look for. We'll link our kitten checklist as well. Gorgeous. Okay, well I think we're going to leave mum and kittens to have a little snooze for the rest of the afternoon. And we will be back again next week, possibly with Mia and her kittens, possibly with another litter. But either way, you'll get to see them as they grow over the next 6 to 8 weeks or so. And we'll try and keep you updated as well with how their rehoming process goes. But thanks for joining us today, and thanks for any donations we receive as well, because they're all really gratefully received and go towards the health and happiness of cats and kittens like Mia and her litter. So thanks, guys.